Trước khi bắt đầu, nếu bạn đang tìm kiếm sách để học IELTS hiệu quả, thì đây là những cuốn sách chúng mình khuyên dùng. Nó có thể giúp bạn đạt điểm IELTS từ 7.0 tới 8.0. Bạn hãy xem ở phần giỏ hàng trong kênh nhé. Cảm ơn bạn đã ủng hộ kênh.
Part 1. You will hear a conversation between an Australian accommodation agent and an English woman who wants to rent a property in Sydney.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to meet you. Have a seat.
Thanks.
So, you're looking to rent an apartment in Sydney.
That's right. Like I said on the phone, I'm going to be working in a bank here for the next year.
Well, I've had a look around for you, and there's one apartment I think might just suit you. It's in central Sydney, not out in a suburb.
Okay. So what sort of apartment is it?
Well, it's a studio, so basically it's designed for a single person or a couple. You're looking at a total area of about 34 square metres.
Right.
And then every 2 apartments in the building share a separate laundry. So that's almost as if you've got your own. But it means that's not using up space in your apartment. And of course, you don't have the noise of the machines.
Is it a modern building?
Sure, and the apartment's nearly at the top of the building. I think it's on the 12th floor. No, the 14th.
Oh, you must get a good view from up there.
Yeah, and the great thing about this apartment is that you look right out over the harbour. It's a pretty awesome view.
Oh.
And the apartment's got huge windows, so you really appreciate it.
One thing I'd really like is a garden so I can sit outside. Does the apartment block have one?
No, but your apartment has a balcony, so there's room to sit out there.
Okay, well, it all sounds good. Now, does the apartment block have any special facilities for tenants, like a gym?
Yeah, it does. That's on the 1st floor, and all residents have access to that free of charge. And if you like swimming, you've got an indoor pool.
Great.
And one special feature of the building is it even has a couple of cinemas. They're on the ground floor, so you can even take in a movie without leaving the building. Of course, they're open to the public, but I think residents get a reduction.
Right. And what happens about parking? Is that underground?
That's right. Do you have a car?
Not yet, but I'll probably need one, I suppose. I'm wanting to do a bit of travelling while I'm here.
Well, one big plus of this location is the fact that it's in an excellent situation as far as transport is concerned, so a lot of residents don't bother to run a car. You can always hire one if you're planning a trip. You can save a lot of money that way.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But talking of money, you haven't mentioned the rent yet. So from the description of the property, I guess it might be quite expensive. I did say I didn't want anything above $600 a month.
Well, I'm going to surprise you because this comes in at $580. So you're within your budget there, and I have to say, you're getting a bargain.
Well, I'd have preferred to pay a bit less, but I suppose in this location...
Yeah, and when you're looking at the rent, in a lot of places you have to add on the cost of electricity, but in this case it's all included, so you're saving money that way.
Right. Well, I'd definitely be interested in the property. When's it available from?
Well, the current tenant moves out on the 8th of August, so let's say it'll be free from the 13th. I'll need to get the cleaners in on either the 10th or the 11th.
Right. And what's the address?
It's number 220 Bat.
Section 2. You will hear a coordinator talking to volunteer helpers before a race involving a large number of people.
Thank you for all volunteering to help us with the Bridge to Brisbane Fun Run. The purpose of this meeting is to give you some information about your duties on race day. Some of you are asking about where you can park on the day. Unfortunately, some of the usual places, down by the river for example, will be out of bounds because we'll need extra space for emergency vehicles. Probably the best option is the Jack Gray Sports Field in Barker Street. Although the closest parking lot is the Metro shopping complex, I would advise you not to park there as they tend to tow away people who aren't customers. At the start line, most of you will be checking that runners have the necessary gear, especially their electronic timing chip, the race number and the identity wristband. Make sure that the number is attached to the front of the running shirt or singlet, not the back. The timing chip, which records the runner's time, needs to be clipped onto one of their shoes and check that they are wearing their wristband. Some of you will be responsible for organising the starting groups. It's very important that runners start in a particular order. There is a system of colour codes. The red group are walkers and people with baby strollers. The purple group are runners that expect to finish in at less than 1 hour, and the yellow group are our elite athletes. We'd like them to start the race, and we'd like the other groups to follow after that, with the red group and the strollers at the very back. This is for their own safety. Now, we are still short on volunteers for the race day, so if you have any friends or family members who might be interested, please let us know. We're probably okay for people to help with the start, but we'll still desperately need volunteers along the race course to distribute water bottles to the runners. A few of you have offered to help with first aid, but the good people of St John's Ambulance have donated their services, so that won't be necessary. Now I'll show you the layout of the race village, which is where the race ends. Can you all see the map? If you look at the bottom right-hand side, you'll see where the runners enter the village, next to the corporate catering section. As you continue along the course, you'll see the stage on your right. That's where the winners will receive their medals. Now, can you all see the finish line near the centre? After they finish the race, the runners can take one of two paths, it doesn't matter which one, to get their finishers' T-shirts from the T-shirt stand at the end of those paths. Many of you will be stationed there at the end of the race. After they finish, the runners will also want their belongings, and all bags are kept in the building on Bowen Road. It's quite close to the exit, in the top left-hand corner of your map. Now, some of you will have an important role, working in the information centre. That's the building in the centre of the map, not far from the finish line. It's just below it on your map. And one other thing, can you all please remind the runners to enter in the prize draw for the new car? The entry box is between the shade tents and the corporate catering buildings. OK, let's see now. What else do I need to point out? Yes, the runners are always thirsty, and the main water station in the village is just beside the third exit through to Gregory Terrace. Can you see it there to the left of the corporate catering area? So everyone, please direct the race finishers there to get their free bottled water.
Part 3. You will hear a discussion between a student called Mike and his tutor about Mike's proposed project on oral history.
Thanks, Mike, for dropping by. I've read the proposal for your project, which is an oral history of the local football team, particularly the time around 1983 when they won the league championship. But first, how do you define oral history?
Well, in fact, I used the definition you gave us last year in our research methodology class. I found the handout in my file. The definition says that oral histories are planned interviews or conversations about some aspect of the past which is considered historically or socially important. The interviews are with people who took part in whatever it's about, so there'll be a record which historians can use later for all those academic articles they write.
Mm-hmm.
And although history textbooks are mostly about famous people and important events, oral history can be about ordinary people doing ordinary things.
Oral history really seems to have started in the States.
You're right. In fact, the first modern oral history interviews were done by a historian in New York. By that time, audio technology had improved so much that it was fairly easy to record those interviews.
I was also interested in how the internet has contributed to oral history studies.
Yes, it means that lots of people can access the material, and that's great. Also, the interactive nature of the better websites means that more students get interested in oral history.
But from what I've read, the real contribution of the internet is that the recording of the interviews will be preserved forever. In the old days, the tapes would just wear out, and after some years you couldn't really use them, but not now.
You're right, of course. Anyhow, let's move on to the subject of your project. Why did you decide to study a sports team?
Well, actually, I don't even like football very much. And some of my friends think I'm crazy to go for that subject, but my dad is a huge fan and he might be able to help me.
And how did you find out background about the team? You talked to the team manager, I assume?
Yes, I did manage to track him down. And I looked at all the old news stories about the team in the town newspaper office. That was where I got the most helpful information. I had high hopes that the local library would have lots of stuff, but they don't keep many records for more than 10 years.
I know that you managed to locate 10 of the original 18 members of the team using an old-fashioned method, didn't you? Not a website or anything, just the telephone directory.
Yes, I didn't even need to use the local team's records.
OK, now I've read your proposal carefully. Overall, your plans seem excellent, but I want to discuss how you might improve them.
Great.
I've read through the list of questions you've drafted. I felt most of them are rather complex to be processed as oral questions. You don't have too many, which is good, but you should try to do something about that problem.
Right. I'll work on them.
And the time you've allotted for each interview. Actually, I think you may have scheduled too much time for each. You want them to be tight, not going on and on. That makes for better results.
I can change the schedule. One thing I'm nervous about is the recording equipment I use. I've got an old recorder. It runs without making too much noise and it isn't complicated, but it sometimes just doesn't seem to work. It stopped during an interview I tried out with my dad.
Well, the important thing is just be ready if anything happens. Or take some spare batteries, or even an extra recorder. Now, I'm a little concerned with the subjects you've chosen to cover. The topics seem quite general, not very specific. For example, why did they like playing for this team? You need to talk about more exact things and feelings. That way your results will be more valuable.
I'll try to refine them. And, you know, the plan for my report seems to be just to report back more or less what the players say, what happened, when, what they each did and so on. But I'm not sure about that.
Yes. Although your outline seems long enough, change it to indicate that you plan to include your own evaluation of the data you get from your interviewees. Anyhow, best of luck on your project. I look forward to seeing the results.
Thanks for your help and...
Section 4. You will hear a talk at a university open day to students interested in following a course in textiles and business studies.
Thank you, first of all, for coming along to the university's open day, and in particular for coming to this talk to find out about our course in textiles with business studies. The cooperation between the Faculty of Arts and Architecture and the Business Faculty enables us to offer this undergraduate and integrated master's course. In the 5 years this course has been running, we've learned a lot and it's become very popular. Now, thanks to the Faculty of Engineering, we're also able to offer a really exciting opportunity to those who would like to further diversify and would like to carry their learning through into new disciplines. Now, the aims of this course are firstly to create innovative and highly motivated textile practitioners within the disciplines of knitted textiles an increasingly popular area, as you will have seen on the catwalks, printed, and of course woven textiles. Secondly, we also ensure that our students gain an in-depth knowledge and understanding of related business operations. We make sure that our students have sufficient hands-on experience by arranging interesting and relevant work placements. The focus of the integrated component of the work placement is the global market. Our aim is to locate studio work in this increasingly important context. Moving on to what we do in each year. In the first year, students explore the 3 subject areas of textiles in rotation. The emphasis for the first year is experimentation, and we ask for evidence of visual research, which must be supported by documentation and proposals for its application. In Year 2, design and technical skills are related to the real world. Unlike many other university textile courses these days, we give our students the opportunity to choose an extra module on the traditional processes of design, which gives a historical perspective on their work. This can be done before introducing students to computer-aided design. Students at this point, Year 2, decide if they intend to complete the course at Year 3 with a BA Hons or progress to Year 4 and conclude with a Masters in Design. Students can also have tutorials if they feel they need help making this important decision. This reflects our commitment to student support at all times. Year 3 consolidates the knowledge gained using a particular learning style. It's called reflective practice. That means you look back on what you've done and analyse and evaluate your subject in both academic and professional contexts. This helps and encourages deeper understanding. Students produce a dissertation on a topic of their own choosing and a portfolio of their textile collection. Also, to help underpin the commercial aspect of the course, we ask for a business plan. On the subject of career opportunities, many graduates work directly within the textile business, with careers commonly found as stylists and retail managers. However, it shouldn't be forgotten that there are many other exciting opportunities out there. For example, careers in journalism, for those with a flair for words, or trend forecasting for those with their eye on the future. We are certain that we shall see broader and more varied opportunities for our graduates. If you like what you've heard today and are thinking of applying for the program and you'd like to talk to us further, please come back tomorrow. You'll have the opportunity to do a brief interview where we'll be able to assess your aptitude for this subject area. Many students who haven't studied related subjects may be surprised to find that they're quite well suited to our program. After that, of course, you'll need to go through the usual application procedures.